what was a quick fix that you did that turned into a terrible nightmare? So what's the project you said, "Oh, I
Oh,
can fix that," and then everything went downhill and you spent way more time and money than you ever could have imagined? So any of you two want to tackle one of these nightmare scenarios that you had?
Yep.
you want to go first, Phil? Or
I,
you want me
I
to?
I got one.
Okay.
I've got too many I can count, but go ahead, Phil.
My son, when he was 2 years old, he is turning 16 next month. So when he was 2 years old, he really liked to play with basketballs, footballs, any kind of like sport ball that you can think of. And yes, I am choosing my words carefully there. Um, and so I decided to build him a ball pit, and
Oh,
because
the
we were
ball
we were
pit.
yeah, we were at Toys R Us back in the day, and you could get like a whole bag of ball pit balls for like $20. So I built this cool thing out of PVC pipe, net, and blah blah blah. Now fast forward to like I don't know 6 months ago, I have my third child is now 2 years old, and he also enjoys playing. He is fanatic with basketball. So I still have all the ball pit balls that we've been creating collecting over the years, and uh, I wanted to build like a little entrance, and so I was like, okay, I'm just going to knock this out with PVC pipe. It's going to be cheaper than trying to build the whole thing, and it's just going to be awesome. And so it was terrible. So I had it all planned out. I had it like a board and like netting and all kinds of stuff. And it was just the flimsiest floppy mess. And so I'm in the process of actually rebuilding it. And so yeah, that was my more recent failure. I don't know.
This is easy, and then all of a sudden, oh, you're
Yeah, it's like it didn't.
hundreds of dollars and months deep into it.
Yeah, and it would have been just cheaper to do something else. Yeah.
Orson, you got one?
Yeah, for me, it always goes back to computers where I sit there and I'm like, you know, life would be better if A, B, or C. And so one of these times I was like, AI is cool. I want to build an AI rig. So I started, getting the pieces and parts together. I always do it during like the wrong time. Like I think this was, I don't know, the apocalypse of GPUs 5.0 at this point. So, I got some, and then like this project just kept getting more and more expensive. And I'm just like, what is going on at this point? No, not NVIDIA expensive, but um, of it. And so I ended up at the end with two computers because I couldn't figure out how to put the two GPUs, which both have three power slots on them, and they required so much power, and they each required about a
Yes.
thousand watts. And I'm just sitting here
Yep.
going, okay, they don't all fit in this case, but this case also needs to be a NAS. And then, oh my gosh, eventually I was like, you know what? I give up. I don't want to melt my house down. So
How
I
many
just
how many
I put it in two
thousands of
computers.
dollars later?
I mean, it was probably like $2,000 total, but
Oh, wow.
it's
A lot
uh
more than my ball pit.
it's
There you go.
gonna,
Yeah, that's a
it's
lot of
gonna
ball pit.
last a long time, so that's good. I'll make it do all sorts of workloads, play all sorts of random AI models on it and whatnot. It's fun. I like to
Oh,
tinker,
wow.
and I've learned tinkering tends to get expensive.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
yeah, it's a slippery slope. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it depends on what you go into. Yeah, why are
Yeah.
you asking about my projects or
Yeah.
my
So
nightmares?
so so my well, one of the bad scenarios I had was I lived in at an apartment. This is when I lived in an apartment. I had a carport that you're just supposed to park your car there, right? But my motorcycle was having trouble, I guess, idling. It would sort of skip out, and so what I did was I changed the spark plug, or I attempted to change the spark plug. Um, and
Attempted it.
so when I went to go change the spark plug, the threads from I guess a previous time were stuck pretty bad, and it's kind of hard to reach in there. And when as I was twisting it open, I guess I got it at the wrong angle, and the spark plug broke off in the engine. So imagine breaking a
Oh,
bolt off, but it's your spark plug.
oh no.
And so
No.
you live in an apartment, right, without a garage, with a little carport, you have to figure, okay, how am I going to take apart my whole motorcycle engine to fix this? So, long
Oh my
story
god.
short, my motorcycle engine ended up inside my apartment, and I was rebuilding my engine inside my apartment. So,
Not on the carpet, I hope.
no, we had wood floors. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
anyway,
You
that
know,
was a this
damage
is
them up.
easy turned into insanity. So, that was fun.
You know,
But my bike works now.
how many how many projects, like how does it take? I'm trying to figure out, like, when you start on a project, you have very good intentions, and then
Mhm,
is it that
mhm.
one thing that breaks that makes it a bad project, or is it like a series of bad events?
I mean, it's
It's a
probably the 3 or 4 or 10 visits to the hardware store in the middle of the project. I mean, if you've done
it's
a project of any kind, you end up in the hardware store.
Yeah, it's kind of like you dig a hole you can't get out of, and you
They
just keep doubling down, thinking, I can get this until you're like until you run out of money, and then your project sort of sits there until you can get more money.
You know, it's actually gotten so
Yeah.
bad that I will plan a project. I will take it to my wife and like, look at this beautiful plan. Or we could just go on Amazon and I could buy one. And she's like, oh, fine, buy
So
one.
so that gets to the whole point of this podcast, and when welcome to the show. I'm Drew, and then we have Phil here and Orson. And so this is all about do it yourself or disaster when projects go right or very wrong. And
Yeah.
so we're sort of going to kick this off with
Okay.
projects that we have each been working on over the last couple of years. And we're going to sort of explain sort of the success and failures of what happened here. So go ahead, Phil. You can kick off the media.
All right. Maybe, maybe not. One moment, please.
Looks like it's there.
Properties.
There we are.
Paste. Maybe. There it
Oh,
is.
technical
Hooray.
difficulties.
Yay.
All
So
right.
this project didn't work. Joking. All
Yeah.
right. No, we got it. We got
This is a whole other project we could probably talk about later, the setting up this whole
it.
podcast,
Seriously. You know,
which has
setting up a
been quite
podcast.
the adventure.
Yes.
We could talk about that
So
at the end.
we're gonna start with me. I'm gonna just go over my stuff, and then we'll go on to the next person. So we're gonna sort of briefly, cover what's going on here. So back to what Orson was doing. This is a couple of GPUs.
Oh
So
no.
I had
On to the
watched a
next one.
Netflix episode about back in like 2017, and they talked about how crypto is going to take over the world. And so I, caught on to the bandwagon. I bought some Litecoin. My Litecoin that cost like $7 turned into like $50 a coin. And I had the great idea that I could get wealthy building mining rigs. So I started with one GPU, and I got two GPUs. And as Orson was saying, you need lots and lots of power, as you can see my giant power brick there.
I
And
mean,
now I have three
GPUs are
GPUs.
yeah, like
Three three GPUs, and you see the fan at the end there. That's not a heater fan. That's just a I put it on fan mode. So I'm not cooking my GPUs.
oh, it's
Okay.
beautiful.
So then you keep going, and I thought, oh, let me get into an ASIC miner, and this is what mines like Bitcoin.
Oh
But
no.
this one was for Litecoin, and so my great mining and empire is growing, right? So now I get into a full rig. Now this
You
full
were
rig
that
has
guy.
six GPUs, and
He
on the
was.
right there,
I
you
was
can see
trying to
it.
get GPUs, and you were that guy who had the GPUs for
Yeah,
freaking
I just
mining.
kept doubling down, kept expanding, kept expanding.
Oh man.
Um, and you can see on the right there, that's using what's called Nice Hash, and so it's a website you plug into where they pay you for your mining. I was making about 50 bucks a day, and mind you, each one of these GPUs probably cost about, I think, over $1,000 a piece. So I was in the hole, and I was optimistic I was gonna
That's
go
six thousand
somewhere.
dollars right there.
Okay, so now I got really crazy, and I was building multiple rigs and multiple farms of ASIC miners.
Were
And there
you
you see
selling them?
the ASIC miners all set up. So long story short, with these ASIC miners, is the price of the coins is sort of a moving target, and so is the profitability of the miners. And as the miners, you know, the newest miners would produce way better than the old ones, and this is only months apart, right? So um, you needed to liquidate your old miners, or else they'd just be bricks sucking power. So what I ended up doing is, as the crypto market was going down, I liquidated all of my miners, and I about broke even to what I put into it. So I was pretty successful with the investment of cryptocurrency, but my mining venture definitely did not secure me a future of fortune.
So
not,
you
not like you
basically
hope.
you basically rose your profits and then you paid
Yeah,
everything off and then you just went level.
yeah,
I
basically,
mean, at
yeah.
least you didn't go bankrupt. So that's
Yeah, oh,
success.
yeah, it could have been crazy. So my conclusion on all this was the better move would have been to just buy coins and not even touch mining. So, but anyway, but
Oh,
this was a very fun project to do. Putting all these things together, this looks like a lot of fun. It sounds just like Orson's AI thing he was trying to do.
It
So,
is fun. It's fun. It's annoying, but it's fun.
So another scheme I would do is eBay. And so my idea was I
I
will
remember
I
that.
will open up an eBay page, I'll sell all my old stuff and sort of get a reputation, and start building a credibility to sell more things. And so I went to Alibaba and I bought a bunch of bulk items like air pressure gauges and laser thermometers and measuring the what are those called? Those measuring tapes. And I would package these up, have the inventory ready to go. So as soon as someone ordered, I would just drop it off and ship it that day. And so for this one, I sort of just broke even. Um, I
You
put
drop
money
ship
into it.
instead.
the The issue with the eBay business for the Alibaba idea was that I would sell things. There wasn't an issue that I couldn't sell things, but the inventory I bought, say I bought 50 air pressure gauges, it would take me 6 months to sell them all. You know what I mean? So you would have to
Mhm.
move like $1 million in product just to like keep cash flow going.
So you're selling the wrong product at the time to make money.
Um, it could be, yeah,
Well, it
yeah,
sounds more like a economy of scale type thing.
yes. It's
Yeah.
like yes.
You had to
So
have like
these Yeah. So
300
the
products
idea
to
was is
move.
I would spend like $200 and then make more money.
Yeah.
But if I chose a better
Okay.
product and spent thousands of dollars, maybe you're right. Maybe I could have picked a better product. But okay, now we're on to my motorcycle. So this is one of the times I had to rebuild my engine. I had put in a high performance upgrades, piston and upgrades. And this is the bottom of the engine, and this piece here is the top of the engine. And as you can see, it's smashed to bits. That little piece in the corner here, if you can see my mouse,
Mhm.
Yeah.
uh, this is the inner ring, and that little piece snapped out, right? And so that piece bounced around inside the engine and mangled the engine, including you can see the piston here. It smashed to bits.
Dang.
So, and on top here, what rests on top of this part is the valves, and this valve rocker, as you can see, it was grinding down to a pulp too. So one of the projects that's an ongoing project is me rebuilding my motorcycle for 100 different reasons. So this is sort of one of the fun things I like to work on. It's incredibly stressful because I get deep into it and I'm worried that one little thing will be messed up and I do it all wrong. But um, I always seem to find a way to succeed. Um,
And
Now,
not crash and die going 60 miles an hour down the road.
yeah, that too. And then we go to my car. So my car, this is a valve cover. It was leaking oil. It goes right here. onto the exhaust, and my car was smoking everywhere. So I was like, "Why is my car smoking?" And so there was an oil leak. And this was a pretty intense job because I had to disconnect the fuel lines and dig in there pretty deep. And I was sort of scared I would get in over my head, but somehow I made it out of this one. And my car works perfect now. So
Hmm,
yeah, this is basically what I've been doing and what's been fun and what I've gotten myself into and somehow survived. So Orson's gonna go next, and just
All
let me know
right.
where to go for the slides, and I can go back and forth. So here we go.
All right. So this is a project that I had. I decided on a Saturday morning that I wanted to paint my room. And I had been looking at two paint swatches on my wall for a year and a half before I finally made up my mind
can
on,
anybody relate?
and before I just made up my mind and said, okay, I think I like this one the most. And then I went with my kids and we went over to the Home Depot. This was visit one, and we got the paint. And then I had to go back for some paint brushes, and then I had to go back again because I forgot the roller. So 3 visits is about the standard
Oh,
for
Yep.
that's the
uh,
worst.
a weekend project like this. So I painted my whole room in a day. And I don't know a lot about painting, but everybody who's seen it said I did a really good job. Um, and I'm happy with it. And so my
Nice.
bedroom is now a nice forest green.
I like
Yeah.
four
The
screens.
outlets look good. The bottom around, what is that near the, is there like a liner at the bottom? A
Yeah.
little, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, it's just a molding.
Oh yeah, the molding, yeah, all looks good.
And now this is a project that my dad had an idea for a chess table when I was in high school. And he's like, yeah, you're in wood shop. You could build this. So, he goes into his CAD software and, draws out this plan. And then I
Can
take
I?
it into my woodshop teacher and was like, I want to build this. And he's like, well, all right. Um, there's going to be lots of issues. So my dad, the original design was round. What do you want to say, Phil?
I want to say the best kind of project is when you get somebody else to do the project.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
So
100%.
your dad had the right idea then.
Yes.
Yeah,
Your
so
dad's been around, hasn't he?
it took me over a year, in school, high school, to put this thing together. Constant engineering and thinking of solutions. And I remember putting the top together, and I had to do it like 4 or 5 times because our miter saw, it just wouldn't cut a 45-degree angle properly.
Hmm,
And the 45-degree angles, and you just put the board together. And that took me forever to
yeah.
glue together.
Blame it on the
And
sun.
I had the best teacher, uh, Mr. Heron at the time, and he helped me through this crazy project with all sorts of ways to solve it. And yeah, I mean, I was in high school, had no clue what I was doing. There's a couple more pictures of it. So yeah, I mean,
Oh
I
wow.
finished it, and it's a chess table. It fits one chessboard, and it's that chessboard
The
right there.
is the chessboard removable?
Yeah, you can pop the chessboard out.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
that's fun.
So it's made for that chessboard then.
It's made
That's
for
cool.
that chessboard, which my dad got in Italy, and so
Oh
this is
wow.
like the base. Originally, it was going to be a cylinder, but we didn't have a lathe at the school big enough to rotate a piece of
Your
wood that
giant leg.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
to do that large. This
Oh, this
was
is cool.
a keyboard project. I got into custom keyboards quite a while ago because I don't know. I got sick of
Well,
the
you talked
standard.
about that in a previous podcast, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very proud of these the keyboards that I put together. Now, I will say that I don't know a lot about like the electrical engineering parts. So I mean, it was parts of a kit, but I still had to solder like everything in it.
Oh wow.
And
Oh wow.
I had never. learned how to solder. So this was my soldering project. Not quite my first one. The first one I did was a modification to a Game Boy Advance SP to make the back screen to replace the screen and make it better.
Hmm.
But this was my second soldering attempt, and it was great. I still use this keyboard every single day.
Oh wow. That's
It's a
cool.
lot of fun, and it glows in the dark because I designed some
Apparently.
3D uh, printed parts, and then I printed it out, and yeah, it fits great. So this is
Oh.
what it is in the
Oh,
daylight.
that's gnarly.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
how
I
they
even
like
got a
angle. Is that ergonomic? Does it fit your hand
yeah.
nicely the way
It's
it is?
yeah. I mean, it's split, and it's a Bluetooth keyboard, so you can put it anywhere on your desk, and you split your hands
Oh
across.
wow.
And I remember my brother, he came over after I had done it, and he's like, "How do you type? Where are your numbers? Where is everything?" And
Oh, the end keys right there. That's weird.
so everything is custom programmed. I created my own what you call layers on the keyboard, and I use it for my Linux desktop setup, and I love it. Okay, so this project, um, I had gotten into miniature painting, so I started with like Warhammer, then I started painting models, and then I started amassing through Kickstarters lots of paint. And then I had the problem of I had paint everywhere in boxes. And I was like, okay, I need a place for my paint. And there was a couple of solutions online, but they were just really expensive to buy or
Yeah.
to print. And I was like, you know what? I think I could design something better and custom. So this was someone had built a board that you can 3D print. I think this one is called Open Board or something
Mm.
along those lines, and it's really cool. But since it's so open source, not a lot, and it was like relatively new at the time, nobody had made any solutions for it. And I was like, of course, I'm gonna be the, I'm gonna be the pioneer
Yep.
yet again. So this was me holding, my different paints, and they're each, individual sizes. So you can go to the next picture, and
Oh wow.
here's the board printed out. You can see some of
Do
my
do the
Warhammer stuff.
colors are those for different sizes or it's just aesthetics or what is that?
No, those were just some glow in the dark filaments that I used at the time because it was in
Oh,
the
cool.
printer.
This is another good example of a perfect a project shot because you have to have like your feet in the bottom of it.
You gotta take the picture
You
somehow.
got right. Like every single
No.
picture I ever take of a project, my feet are like somewhere in there.
And so this was my first iteration on a design. And my thought was like, maybe I make these little like tubes and then I can like pull them in and out. And so
Mhm.
I designed it and then I put it on the board and I was like, well, that's not going to work very well. Um, and
Can't tell what color it is.
it just had problems. And I was like, okay, there's got to be a better way. So I got a piece of paper and I sat down and I drawn this plan originally and I drew something up. And then I was like, okay, because everything that is here, I am designing in software, um, and like CAD software. And I was like, okay, so this is an okay approach. Um, but then I just decided it just wasn't gonna work. You can go to the next one. So I came up with this idea. I was like, okay, so
Oh,
what
cool.
if I have a flat surface where it would sit, but it would like clamp onto it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be loose. You'd be able to push the paint in and you'd be able to pull it out
Kind of
reasonably
snap it.
simply. And then you
Hmm.
just snap it and it makes a good sound, right? And this is when I learned I needed something called these things.
So these are very useful.
This is when Orson became a man.
And I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but uh,
Calipers.
Calipers. Yeah.
Yeah, calipers. These are millimeter calipers. So I did everything in the metric system, which America, please
I've
move to
only
the
ever
metric
seen
system.
the meter. That's funny. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I had to start measuring things, and
Oh.
eventually
Oh, they all clip in their little things. Oh, that's really neat.
I got to a solution where you can print. I believe it's 7 at a time, and the bamboo printer would fit about 4 or 5 of them on there. So I was able to
Mhm.
print them very quickly.
Nice.
Um, and then you
And
just
there's the
snap
professional
it
feet.
on. There's the feet. Yeah, there you go. Those are my Nike shoes.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
these turned out cool. This is nice.
and then you like you can snap them in,
Do you
and
ever
then
actually put it on your wall?
yeah, yeah, I do.
Oh,
It's
good.
currently in my okay, but this is the thing. This project took me forever to finish because I don't know. Sometimes when I start a project, I'm all gung ho, like I'm 100% into the project, and over time I start to lose steam. Um,
Mhm.
Especially when I start running into issues or something isn't working the way it
Yeah.
needs to, and so it starts to become irritating. But I
Oh,
push through,
jeez.
and
Oh,
this
nice.
is what it
You
looks
put them
like.
all together like that? That's really awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So I can even expand the board out, have more um,
How does the board attach to the wall?
with screws.
Oh,
Just
interesting.
What about that little thing at the bottom, that little tray? That's like a odds and ends tray, or what is that?
that is to hold the little bits of Warhammer paint, that Citadel paint. I haven't wanted
The
to go
paint
in
that
and edit
doesn't
my
fit.
model.
Mhm.
I mean, the model's really easy to edit. I just have to edit like 2 things in the
This
model,
is
and it'll
so
be
cool.
the correct
So,
size.
you built this on your own. Do they have anything similar to this that even exists? That you can
Uh,
buy to do this?
I mean, maybe, but usually the paint's sticking out of the wall. And my idea was I wanted it as flat against the wall as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just
So,
clips into the spot. This is actually really neat. That's cool, and it looks cool too.
Yeah.
So,
oh, it's so cool to look at. So
yeah.
originally it was on my wall in my office, but I just recently gave that up. Um,
You're gonna have to
and
like
so
rearrange them so it makes the Mona Lisa from across the room.
Yes.
well,
That'd be
You know
cool.
those
they're
images
all
that
in
they always.
order the best I can for like color based on the vendor of the paint. And my favorite paint for miniature painting at this point is P3.
Nice.
Vallejo is pretty good.
Were you
Tooth and Coats
designing
is
something?
okay. All right. This project is what my house used to look like. So I had a problem of people didn't want to come over to my house. Finding out later it wasn't, just because of this. It's because they didn't want to come over. But what I had is originally I had this setup of my TV was on a wall and there just wasn't a lot of places to sit. So I was like, okay, well, let's design my house first in some CAD software. I don't know if you noticed, but it always goes back to me in CAD
Yeah, I was
because
gonna say, no wonder they didn't want to come. No, I'm joking.
I mean, the reason is because you can draw something on paper, but you just can't always see what it's going to look
Oh
like.
yeah, I love a
So
3D model.
eventually I started to model
I like the TV, and the TV looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
different things. So I took different assets that were similar to mine at the time,
is that
and
SketchUp?
I just started. I think so. Yeah, it's changed so much
Oh
since
yeah, it's
since I used to
completely
use it.
different.
Um, so yeah, I modeled my house, and then I started putting furniture in the house that represented my furniture. Um, and this was my
Oh,
idea. I was like, oh, I think this would look really cool. I never
does your
did
carpet
get.
look like that?
Does my carpet look like that?
It looks pretty slick.
No, I couldn't find one like that. It would be really cool.
Yeah, it looks
Um,
neat.
but I have a different geometric, more a circle-like pattern. I never did
Yeah.
figure out how to put the shelves up on the wall.
Mm.
Um, maybe someday.
Is that
Um,
your kitchen island?
Yep,
on the
that's my
left.
kitchen island. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. And this was my idea. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something like this. So I had designed everything on the wall because the thing about putting it into CAD is it let me iterate designs in my house without doing anything, like moving the furniture
Right.
or anything like that. So it allowed me to think through what would look the best. And
Well,
then
and was it to scale?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
to scale. So everything
that's cool.
I could see how, the walkway would be, where the congestion would be. Because I was trying to build a theater room with an open room house.
Yeah,
It's just all open. So, and yeah, I
cool.
built that table. That's a real table. So here it is, and that's what it would look like eventually.
Yeah.
So now, here you
oh, here it
go.
is. You have
Here it
the
is.
guitars. I was going to ask about those.
Yeah, I even did. I did everything that I had planned, and it took me a couple of weeks to get it together. So the thing about putting the entertainment stand on the wall is so this wall is very picky. I have lots of photos
Yeah.
of this wall
Gotta watch
before
out for
like
those picky walls.
the sheetrock was put on, right? Because there's pipes and all sorts of things in that wall, and they're just
Oh,
all over.
scary.
And so like everything had to be done very carefully, otherwise you could have lots of problems. And I don't want to deal with any of it.
Leaky
Um,
pipes are electrocuted, huh?
and so the entertainment
Or
stand,
both.
I got it from IKEA, but the problem with it is they don't. I mean, IKEA, what are you doing? Selling products in an American country, and you have your metric measurements, and our stud system is totally different. So I had to come up with this interesting solution of how I was going to mount this to the wall because it wouldn't work with like the provided hardware or anything like that. So what I did is I got some 1x8s, or yeah, I think they're 1x8s. They were 8 feet long and they were 1 inch thick. And so I put them on the back of it, and then I like drilled them into the side, and that
One
thing
by
is
eight.
going, huh?
1 by 8. So it was like that's like a 1 by 8.
I'm 8 feet long by 1 inch
Uh,
thick.
1 inch thick or wide?
He's thinking like length by thickness,
I
which
Oh,
don't
is
know.
like
It's
oh,
like two
this
by four.
2 by 4 by 8 feet.
Just
Two by
not
four.
a. Oh yeah, I
well,
see
see,
your
you
point.
got your tuber fur.
I see your point. And so
Whatever the
those were
case,
some
you
of my
got some extra
projects.
lumber that you put on the wall, and now it works. Great.
And now it works. Now yeah.
That's
As
awesome.
all
Right,
dads
Phil.
say, that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Now we get into the adventurous life of Phil. Let's see what
Oh
Phil's
yeah,
up
yeah,
to.
yeah. Now that our podcast half over. Oh boy. Okay. So we're starting off strong. That's not me. That's my brother. I designed and built my own board game using little army men that I got for like $1. And I hand painted them. Go ahead and next. And I made my own terrain. And there's literally nothing technical about it. No.
The terrain, was that 3D printed or how did you build that?
Oh yes, sorry. So you go to the hardware store and you get these like foam sheets, high
Oh
density
yeah, yeah.
foam. So
Hmm.
I would chop them up into squares, and then you get a like a really hot wire foam cutter, and so then you go around the edges and you kind of like make little jagged bits and stuff, and you paint the whole thing gray, and then for the grass you basically what I did was I took sawdust and I
Mm.
painted it or dyed it green, and then you put a layer of glue over the top, and then you just sprinkle the sawdust on the top that's green, and it's very fine, so it looks like little grass. And then you put little trees and stuff. So, anyways, this was kind of a fun project that I did to test out very like a tabletop RPG kind of army game that you fight and battle with. It's kind of fun. That's kind of a close-up picture of one of the pieces that I made that I was pretty proud of. It had like this little billboard sign on it.
So, like the plants and the trees, do you make those, or do you buy those in little
Those
kits?
I got a kit from Amazon. I think came with like 30 trees or 50 trees or something like that. But
You pay for trees or no?
I have made my own trees in the past. And then for the longest time, so I'm a big board game fan. And
That's what I think it is.
anybody who considers themselves like a
Well, it is what I
hobbyist
think it is.
3D printer has to make their own settlers of Catan. And
Yes.
so
The
I
game.
3D modeled and printed a bunch of pieces, and the
Brick and
fun,
stone, brick and stone.
yeah, well, the fun part of making your own board is that you can make it as big as you want. And so if you go
Oh, that's
next,
cool.
um, there's a bunch of little pieces. I had a 3D model and print out like little settlements and cities and stuff like that, and all the
Oh,
roads. And
do they snap into position?
yeah,
Oh, that's neat.
you see the cream colored ones. Those are the pieces that hold the other pieces. So I had a 3D. I had to come up with my own design to for each of the trays for the land, so that you can like they don't wobble around. Because I
Mhm.
wanted, I couldn't just do land
Someone
pieces.
can't shake the board when they get mad, kind of thing.
Yeah. So they interlock with each other, and it keeps everything from sliding around. So if you go next, um, there's
Did
some
you
different.
design it or was that
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
else's?
Everything you see here is what I designed.
Did you
Um,
sell this to other people?
I don't think that's a thing, is it? Like,
You could totally sell that to other people.
oh well, I mean, if somebody is watching this and wants to make me an
Hey,
offer, I
in the
would love to.
Link in
comments, would you
description.
buy something like that?
Yeah. um a lot of the pieces I printed in specific colors, but there's other pieces that like the farms, the white wheat farms would probably
Yeah,
benefit
It's all
from
about
being
that brick,
yellow. I was
it's
pretty
brick
proud
and
of my
stone. I'm
brick.
telling you.
brick and stone and
um
wood.
and then
And oh, gotta have the wood too. Yeah.
the water on the outside has a spot for the little like trading posts. I And then if you see there the mountain that has ore, each resource place has a spot for the number that you
Mhm.
would roll.
Okay,
So you use some of the original game pieces.
that's
Uh,
cool.
the next project, so I
I
got
see
tired.
the balls over there.
Yeah, those that's part of my ball pit that's being rearranged. But
All 6 bags, huh?
so like where I'm at now, I call it my cubicle. I built it from just like random scraps and foam and crap that I found around the house. And so I wanted kind of maybe a little like seclusion and like thematic, I don't know, space that I could work in and like game and stuff like that. So go next. I built this like industrial aesthetic, as if you were like inside of like a metal like boiler or something like that. So each of the
Just
little like
steampunk kind of thing.
yeah, each of the rivets you see is just 3D printed pieces. I don't know, I could probably rip one off the wall. They're just hot glued on the wall, but having it just kind of all together, it's actually kind of fun. I think there's one more. Yeah, so that's kind of very rough setup as I was like planning stuff out of my computer and my
And
setup
this
and
is where
stuff.
you're sitting right now, right?
Yes, actually, it is. I
Is that
moved.
concrete floor?
It is. It's in my basement. So um, I'm that fat 40-year-old living in his basement. I don't know. I don't. But I don't live
We're
in the
all in our
basement.
basement, sort of thing. Don't worry.
Yeah. So a project like it took me, I don't know, like several weeks of planning, of executing 3D modeling the right sized nuts and bolts and different things to
There you are.
um
Say
yep.
hello, Phil.
I oh wait.
Say hello
Yes.
to Phil, Phil.
So I had like a light up top so that it wasn't like super bright, but then I got tired of it being so dark. So I can actually I have a much brighter light now, and it's
Well, that's the
interesting
thing.
as in a project. Yeah, as the project progresses, you like make tweaks here and there, and that's the
Hmm.
fun part. I don't know if that's what you were going to say, Orson.
No, I was gonna say that's the thing with like a black room, which is kind of what I had done in my office. I had painted a few things black, but when it is that color, yeah, I mean, it kind of just I realized I didn't like it because it was just dark,
Yeah,
which is exactly what my parents had told me was gonna happen. But I was
we
like,
don't ever listen to our
ah,
parents.
it'll, yeah, they were right. That's okay. I do like the green though because it's dark, but it's
Yeah,
it's lively. I like your individual. It looks like you put like rivets onto your wall.
yeah, yeah. A little. It's all cardboard.
That is so cool.
So as a gamer, I jump around a lot to different games, and I found that I jump around to different games because of the people that I'm playing with, like those particular types of games. And in this instance, for the longest time, I've wanted to build my own racing simulator, but racing simulators done right are like thousands of dollars, and I'm not going to do that because I jump around. I don't only just game racing simulators, so I decided to make my own um, racing pedals.
Okay.
So if you go next, you it turns out that there's a little sensor called a Hall effect sensor, I think is what it, and what it does is it detects a magnetic field, and so as you the black bracket is actually a shelf, a collapsible shelf bracket.
Hmm.
So you could put it it's meant to mount on your wall, and then the shelf can collapse. But in this case, it was the perfect thing because when you push the pedal, that the I'm like pointing as if you could actually see it. Um, if you look at the center of the screen, you'll see a 3D printed block that has a magnet taped to it. And as you push on the pedal, it gets closer to the sensor. And I actually used, what was it?
Does that
Uh,
cause in your game the car to like slow down and
yes.
speed
So
up?
the further you push it, the faster you go.
Oh, that's so cool.
So the
Wow.
sensor detects
I
how,
never knew this. This is interesting.
yeah, the sensor detects how far away the magnetic field is, and
Hmm.
then translates that into your computer as an axis. So as the closer it gets to like 100% or whatever, the axis is like fully engaged. But if you slowly pull back, then it
That
disengages.
is so cool. So you get like the car effect instead of pressing the W
Correct.
key and
Correct.
all in.
Yes. And for the longest time, I've been really big on developing and engineering my own interactive components to a computer, because currently the market is keyboard, mouse,
Oh, it's
uh,
all the same stuff. Yeah.
Xbox controller, and that's it. So in this screen, I attempted to create my own steering wheel, which uses
Interesting.
a pentometer. I think
The one
it's
you like
it's
spin.
yeah, it's a little spinny deal. And
Yeah.
so if you go to the
Got
next,
gears and belts and springs. That's pretty wild.
yeah, it's and every single one of those little belts has to be perfectly tensioned, and it has to be just aligned just right, and you have to pull on. Yeah, it was a nightmare. It didn't actually end up working very well, and I think mostly because I didn't have the right type of. It was like some cheap 99 cents, like
Yeah.
uh,
Everything you're using looks very budget. So the fact that you got it to work at all is pretty cool.
it did work. Very
Yeah.
it would what would happen is the teeth would jump every once in a while, and so then all of a sudden you'd be driving the car and it'd be like you, you would like swerve off to the edge of the yeah, it was not very good. But it was fun. So like I said, I'm big into board games, so I ended up actually a different project, built my own board game table.
Hey, you did
Um
That's
the
cool.
same kind of feat that I did on my table.
yeah, black iron pipe.
Black iron when it was cheap.
Um
So you
so
opened it up. Is
yeah,
this
so
this is that same one with the models inside, right?
correct, yes.
Okay.
What I wanted was a table that I could open up, have a little depth to it. So when you're anybody who's played games on a table like this, that you rest your arms like on the sides and you don't have
Mhm.
to worry about messing up any of the pieces on the
Oh.
table. So having a recessed area makes it really nice. The blue fabric is actually I had a felt blanket, like of one of those thin, cheap felt blankets, wrapped that
Mhm.
around a piece of like plywood or whatever, and then put
Oh,
a casino fabric over top of that.
yeah.
And so the
How
blanket actually keeps. So if you like, if there's a playing card or something like that, you can actually press into it a little bit to
mhm.
pick up the card. So it's much easier to pick up
Oh,
pieces and
interesting.
stuff like that. So as opposed to like a hardwood table,
Mhm.
have you ever like tried to pick up a card off the table? You
It's
have to like
yes.
you have to
Get your
slide off.
fingernail underneath it or pull
Yeah.
it to the
So
side.
I that the blue there is an insert, and I think if the next image, if you take okay, no, no.
He's
If
king
That's a
of
different part.
something.
if you take that blue insert out, there's actually grass paper underneath that, so for like war games and stuff like that, you can have like a grass field that with your little miniatures and stuff. So anyways, very functional table. It has like these little slits and stuff, that all kinds of fun that to do. And I built it with my father. It was a Christmas gift. And the top there is hickory, I think,
That's really
with
pretty.
with epoxy, and that
Yeah.
was a trip.
It's
And the
cool. You
rest of
can
it's black
stand
walnut.
around and lean on it and kind of look down into the battlefield or whatever you're
Yeah,
doing,
yeah,
and kind of
that's
like
the
a
whole point.
gambling. What is
Mhm.
that? Roulette table is what it's called, where it kind
Yeah,
of goes in there.
yep. You
When you
throw
throw the
dice
dice.
around and it just stays all in. The other advantage of a table like this is that you can have a board game going. If you don't finish it, you can cover it up, use the table for whatever else, and then when you want to come back to the game, you take the table off,
Oh yeah.
the top off, and then you know. Anyways,
All right. And
yeah.
here's the project where you became a warrior.
So my son was in a play, and he was going to be, it wasn't a play, it was a skit, and it was during Christmas time. He had to be a centurion
A
soldier, I think it
Roman
was
soldier.
a Roman soldier. And so he was told that to get a mop or a broom handle and use that as the helmet. I was like, no, we're gonna try making our own. So I started. I
Awesome.
to go next. I started to just put little pieces of cardboard together
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
tape and stuff like that, and go next. Uh,
How did you scale it? You just kind of eyeball
I
it, or what?
yeah, I eyeballed it as I was going along
It's awesome.
with my own head. So I would like
Looks
put
like
little
it's something out of Hook,
put
Lost
little
Boys.
straps over it and then tape it together and then just slowly went along. And all the little fluffy parts is just cut cardboard. And when it was like painted and stuff, it actually worked pretty good. I don't know if there was another picture or not.
No,
Nope.
that's the end of the of our wild project. So
Yeah. Well, that
That
took
was
50
cool.
minutes.
you can kill the media.
Okay. That was awesome.
Okay, so the real question in all this is, when does it become do it yourself versus have the professionals do the work? When do you say, okay, I'd rather pay this guy than, spend 6 months, waste a bunch of money, and it still works like garbage? Where do you cut the line?
I have an answer to that, but go ahead,
I I
Orson.
I do too. So I would say you cut the line in if you would actually enjoy doing said project and how much money you have usually determines that. But if you enjoy like designing and iterating over something, I mean, it is difficult, but it's quite an enjoyable process. The engineering from the blueprint phase to when you get that final thing, it's just so rewarding to sit back and see what you've created and
Yep.
what you have made. And the only time that I want someone to do something for me is when I don't care about like the enjoyment of the process. Like I don't like mowing the lawn. I would rather pay someone to mow the lawn. I'm gonna mow the lawn because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I like
Yeah.
to mow the lawn personally.
Yeah. No.
Do you want to hear my answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Phil.
So there are a billion different things that a person could be good at or bad or terrible at, right? And so if it's going to take you, um if it's cheaper to pay somebody to do something than do it yourself. So let's say that, how do I say
Replace the engine on your car.
sure, it's gonna, I could probably do that. It was gonna take me like 3 weeks. So of like full-time job doing it, right?
Mhm.
But I could
Mhm.
probably figure it out. Now, if would it be cheaper to pay somebody to do it in the 2 days than it would have taking off 3 days? That's kind of what I was thinking. That's what
Yeah.
I learned from a college professor. If it's cheaper to pay somebody to do it faster than what you could do it if you had to take the time off to do it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But Orson has a huge point, is that if I enjoyed doing it, then the 3 weeks isn't necessarily a bad thing because I was enjoying myself during that 3 weeks.
It's like a 3-week project
Well,
of hobby time.
Yeah.
another big factor in this is cost. So, like, the engine analogy is good, but I feel like there's a lot of projects like, oh, I'll renovate my house or rebuild my engine or, redo my electrical system or whatever. And in your
Yeah.
head, it's like, oh, I just need to do one, two, three, or spend, oh, a ton of money paying this professional. And then, so what can happen
Yeah.
sometimes is,
Mm.
for one, it takes you way too long. And then you run into, oh, I did this one thing wrong. I need to go buy this. I need to get this permit. There's like a million different little
Mhm.
Yeah.
thousand cuts that at the end of the day, it's like, this was fun. I learned a lot, but I couldn't afford this and, wasted all this time when I could have just had someone do it much better than what I did in 3 days.
Yeah.
You
So
guys ever watch
it's hard to cut the line. Yeah. Go ahead.
you guys ever watch like those shows where they're like demolishing a house? They usually come in and someone's like, "Yeah, well, I was going to replace the floor. So I started replacing the floor, and then I realized I'm not good at this. And I dug up the bathroom to do it, and they just have these like random. It's like these house shows, and they come in and they're like, "Well, okay, we're gonna see what's going on." And usually they find, well, this has been done incorrectly. And you need a permit to do this. You need an engineer to
Yep.
structurally, make sure this is okay. Otherwise, you're risking safety. So when, safety comes into it, I guess, you know, pay for the extra time. I think a lot of times people go the do it yourself route because they feel like they're going to get cheated as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
interesting.
Yes. Phil can probably attest to this doing the plumbing is you have someone that's like, you come in there and fix a leak in 5 minutes and say, "Where's my $1,000?" And they're like, "I'm not paying you $1,000 for 5 minutes." But what they don't
Yeah.
understand is you have all the right tooling, you have the experience. All of this stuff that cost money was your know-how. to be able to
Yes.
quickly assess and do something easily, and then with all the thousands of dollars tooling, to find it in the wall or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. When you go in and it only took you half an hour to finish the project, it's because your ability, they're not paying you for the $10 part that you put in. They're paying
Hmm.
you for the years of expertise to look at a problem, assess it, and be like, oh, all I need is a $10 part. Whereas if they would have done it themselves, they would be, hundreds of dollars into crappy things that wouldn't work.
Hmm. And then
Or
they give up and call you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, like, how do these small mistakes turn into expensive disasters? I feel like that's a very common thing. It's like, I'm trying to think of something like fixing a camera. It's extremely like an old like Canon camera where it's got all the gears and things. You're like, oh, let me just change this one broken lens with a scratch on it. It can't be that bad. And then you dig into it, and you're in over your head in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I,
When a
I have an example
professional,
of this.
yeah, go ahead.
So I had a speaker unit that had just stopped working. So I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm gonna take it apart. So I took it apart, and after doing research on the internet and reading manuals, I determined that the problem with it was I needed a new battery, because the way it worked is the battery would flip on a controller inside the board, and then it would let the rest of it turn on and work. And whoever built this, they decided that you had to have the stupid battery for it to work. And if the battery wasn't charging, then it wouldn't uh, turn on. Dumbest design ever. Anyway, I did it. So I got the battery and I was replacing the battery. And I've never seen smoke and fire from a battery so fast. I plugged the thing in. I made
Oh
sure
my
it was
gosh.
ground and live, and I did it from what I could tell correctly. And in less than 3 seconds, the board was on fire, and
Oh
I was like,
no.
"Electricity scares me."
Yeah.
That's why I was a plumber, not an electrician.
And
Yeah,
so I
they always say,
quickly like yanked that battery out of and just like throw it. The battery wasn't on fire, but it was causing the fire. So
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, it was fun.
When building, installing my parts on a computer, they always say, "Oh, don't, watch out for static electricity and everything." And
Yeah.
luckily, I've never had a doomsday scenario happen to me, but people are always saying like, watch out for static, right?
Yeah.
I
The
I think
worst
there was
thing,
just the worst part. Yeah.
oh, I was just going to say, the worst part that you could get into being a plumber is a crappy situation. But the worst thing about being an electrician is death. So
Yeah, crappy situation sounds a little better to me.
I-
I guess you could drown if you like fell into a hole or something, but that's unlikely.
All right.
I have way
So,
too many crappy situation stories.
oh my
We'll have
gosh.
to do a podcast on
a
crappy
podcast on
situations.
that. Oh, that'd be
Oh yeah,
funny.
I'm sure everybody's had a lot of bad situations. Let's finish up with final thoughts. What do you think about all this, and how do you go about things these days? And
Uh, Well, I just have one question. Why? What is it about humanity in general that they get from a project? You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of
Yeah.
projects that I'm proud of that don't really mean anything to anybody else. I shared probably a few of them, like the dumb hat. Like, why would I get so much pride out of something that I've built with my own hands?
it's making a fire, catching a fish. If you've never done it, it's the most terrible process, but the reward is huge. And once you know how to do it, you can do it again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So this is
and
our million ways of advanced fire and fishing. So
Well,
yeah,
I I,
I
I
think
feel like
I think deep down everybody likes to be creative in some way. And so when we're allowed to, think of a problem that we see, and then we sit there and we solve that problem with our own design and our own intuition, it's just that much more rewarding because then we can sit back and we can go, I did that. That was me. That was me.
Yeah, there's a lot
Nobody
of
else did
people.
it.
There's a lot of people who don't like that though. They don't feel
I think they're
creative.
crazy then. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Shots
A funny
fired.
thing, my final thought on all this is I've always, it went from me knowing nothing, asking my dad how to do everything, and he just sort of give me whatever answer he could come up with, and it turned into go to YouTube for everything. Well, it would from oh no, he would say check the manual, and I couldn't understand this manual because it's very complex, and I'm a kid.
Yeah.
And then it goes to go to YouTube for the answer. Now you have AI, and what I feel like I'm doing nowadays is I'm not afraid to do anything, like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm pushing myself to a point where I'm just throwing myself into the void and I keep getting progress. So I keep pushing even farther into the void
Mm-hmm.
and stuff keeps working. And
Yeah.
so it's
Mm-hmm.
like I'm past the ability of what I even know what I'm doing hardly and
It's
catching up.
cool.
I'm sort of catching up as I get results. So it's sort of like validating my, push to the void. So things are evolving in an interesting way with the lever of AI, I would say.
Oh yeah, it has made learning things faster and being gaslit just as fast.
Okay. Okay. I know we're over time, but I was watching a podcast by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yeah.
And they were discussing AI on Star Talk, I believe was the podcast.
Yeah, that was the name.
Yep. And they were talking about how AI, or no, people during the Industrial Revolution were concerned that all of this automation would replace
Mhm.
humans. They wouldn't have anything to do. But they
Mhm.
transitioned into intellect. And what they're seeing now is that AI is able to create things with intellect and are replacing a lot of intellect based jobs, and that there's
Mhm.
no next field to get into. And
No.
I'm wondering, it's not necessarily intellect, but it's like creativity, or
Yeah.
like jobs will be new fields will be created around innovation and creativity that AI can't do yet.
So with the current jobs that are established, doctor, lawyer, engineer, like all these, like you go to school, getting a formal education to do a task,
Yeah.
is the exact analogy with AI, the analogy of, the man telling the horse, don't worry that horses are getting, replaced. Horses just need to learn how to drive a car.
Yeah.
When the horse is never going to drive a car.
Nope.
And so that's, when people pat you on the back and say, don't worry, you know, you don't need to worry, you just need to know how to use AI. And so I feel like that it's going to outpace us. And with the whole having the imagination and thinking for yourself, that's an interesting point in where how real or not real that matters. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and going back to our topic on projects,
Hmm.
AI is, as far as I can tell, isn't sitting there thinking, "Oh, what project should I work on next?"
Yeah.
It
100%.
it humanity, with the curiosity, and I, sneak peek to next week, we're going to be talking about storytelling and
Which
being.
Phil is going to be hosting that, by the way.
Yep, and we're going to be talking about storytelling. It's going to be fun.
I'm
The
excited.
humanity's creativity in making a good story. What does that even mean? And
So sorry, I'm
oh,
ruining
I'll just
We
wrap.
can just keep
I'll, wrap-
going.
I'll wrap up. Um,
it.
our ability as humans to create a project, to be interested in solving a project, for that sole purpose of saying I did this,
Mhm.
it really defines what to be human means, as opposed to AI and its ability to think.
Well,
Whatever.
my whole question to that is what happens when AGI, when AI thinks for itself? When it
Well,
has what
sure,
is
it
it gonna
can.
care? Like what is it gonna care to do? Like right now it's
I
just
feel
doing
like
what we tell it to do, but when it can think for itself,
It's
does
going to
it
start.
care that
Well,
it helps humanity or does it care that it rules everything? Does it
oh, we're gonna
go
have a
Terminator
sub.
mode, the
So
Matrix
It
we're gonna have
mode?
to
Does
it
it
dive into this.
will care about surviving.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
That's scary because we're
That's
totally
where
gone if that
humanity
happens.
started, right? We
survival.
invented fire to
So is
cook food.
AI organic? Is it the same
No,
as like how like animals and humans evolved? That AI evolves and it's just a
it
self-serving
it uses reward.
Darwin style
Okay,
of
I think we're way too deep.
Oh, we're, I think we
Getting there,
need to.
dude.
We need to save that for another
Orson.
day.
Final thoughts, and we're done. Go ahead,
Okay.
Orson.
My final thoughts are, Phil, I love your Roman hat. Can you make me one?
Sure. Yes.
So Roman hats it is,
Yeah.
and everybody, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Ask us anything you want to know, and we'll share you links to the Settlers of Catan set
And
for Phil.
tell us
So
what
Phil,
we
we're
100.
don't
gonna
know.
percent
In the
yeah.
comments, don't just be like, these guys are idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. Enlighten us. We don't know what we're talking
Yeah.
about most of the time.
Yeah, we never said we know.
Yeah.
But
So
but we did say
You know
we
who
made
you
these
are.
projects.
yeah, we're just hosting the show. You guys,
Yeah,
you're here to listen, so here we are.
that's right.
Well, we hope you are.
All righty.
Yeah.
Catch you guys
All right.
Everybody
later.
a good night.
See you.
Bye.